Well, welcome project management students to the fourth video in this series where we start developing the schedule by entering the data from our WBS. Again, this is Bill Johnson. I'm one of your instructors as well as the program director for the Masters of Science in Project Management program here. So let's get started developing our schedule. So today this video really focuses on entering your project WBS data into Microsoft Project. And there are 4 steps that are in this process. First is entering the WBS data into the task column, indenting that data, adding durations for each of the tasks, and then entering milestones. The thing that you should be very much aware of is that it is critical that you follow these steps in this order and complete each step before moving on to the next step. Microsoft Project tends to get a little fussy at times, let's say it that way. It doesn't like to make changes. So make sure that you follow each of these steps and do them in this order. And this will be the WBS that we will be inputting into our Microsoft project. It is part of the in-class example, one of the documents that you need. Some of the key things that you should be aware of is remembering that this is level 1, this is level 2 in your WBS, and then level 3. That is critical for developing your schedule appropriately. So let's start entering the data. One thing that you should be aware of as we start entering the data from our WBS is that we will be going from top to bottom, left to right. So be aware that that's how we're going to be entering the data from your WBS into your Microsoft project. I'm going to blank myself out now so that you have full view of Microsoft project. So as we begin, let's, as I said, start from top to bottom. So the first line here under the task column, we'll want to put the project name, and in our case, that is project. And then we want to go over to the left-hand side and enter the first deliverable, deliverable 1. Now, for your various projects, you will want to specify what that deliverable is and not put in deliverable 1. The next line, we will continue to go down on deliverable 1, and that is work package 1.1. And again, please put in the information we got, what that work package is. The next line, because we can no longer go further down underneath work package 1.1, we move over. And so we enter deliverable 1.2. And then the next one, we continue down, would be work package 1.2.1, and then work package 1.2.2. We now, because we have completed deliverable 1, we now move on to deliverable 2, and it would be deliverable 2. And we go down and we have work package 2.1. And because there isn't anything below 2.1, we move further to the right, and it's work package 2.2. We've now completed deliverable 2. So now we move on to work package or deliverable 3, excuse me. And right underneath deliverable 3, we have work package 3.1. And since there isn't anything under 3.1, we move over to deliverable 3.2. And underneath work package, under deliverable 3.2 is work package 3.2.1, and then the work package 3.2.2. And underneath, and we'll be dealing with the weekly meeting on Mondays for 1 hour in just a second here. That's really under the project management area. So that really concludes our entering the WBS data into our task information column. You'll notice that Microsoft Project automatically autofilled some areas when you entered that data. Over here we have the task mode. You can see that each of these now are scheduled as auto-scheduled. They have that correct one. Up here you can see if it was in manual schedule, if you go to the task tab, it would have this little stick pin. If it's an auto schedule, it has the little blue box with the arrow. You want to make sure that all of your tasks have the little blue box. If you see any stick pins, you need to change that. And you can do that by simply highlighting that box, and you'll see a drop-down arrow, and you can manipulate that to auto schedule. But since all of ours are, we don't need to manipulate them. They do all need to be in auto schedule. The other thing that was filled in automatically by Microsoft Project is the duration. And currently they are all at 1 day with a question mark behind it. As we start working in durations in one of the next steps, these question marks will be eliminated. And then we have the start date, which are all currently starting on our project start date of November 13th and ending on that day as well, because the duration is 1. In addition, you'll see that all of the bars over here line up with the start date as well as the duration that Microsoft Project has indicated right here. All of these are blue bar tasks. Now the next thing, and as we move into the next step, which is indenting our information, though some of these blue bar tasks will be changing to black brackets. So be aware of that. And that is normal. Now, so that really is step number 1 in this process, entering our WBS data into the task column. The next step is indenting our information to the same level that is on our WBS. Remember, I indicated that this was an important part of understanding the WBS. Now, the first line, which is the very top or at level 0 of our WBS, remains all the way to the left. All of level 1 deliverables will be indented 1 time, but let's do this each deliverable at a time. So deliverable 1 is on level 1, so it needs to be indented once. Remember up here we have this indent and outdent button. So let's click on that. One of the things you do not want to do is just hit the tab on your keyboard. That will not do it. You need to click on this indent button right here, which is in the Task tab, and here is the indent button. So click on that once and let's see what happens. And you can see that the top one now has turned to a black bar and deliverable 1 has been indented once. Work package 1.2 is on level 2, so let's indent that twice. 1, 2. And you can see now that deliverable 1 has been changed to a black bar. Microsoft Project will automatically do that for you. Deliverable 1.2 is also at the same level as Work Package 1.1, so that needs to be indented 2 times because it is on level 2 of our WBS. 1, 2. Work Package 1.1 and 1.2.1 and Work Package 1.2.2 are on level 3. Now you can do both of them at once, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Just left click on your mouse and hold down and highlight both of them, and then click on it once, twice, 3 times. So that is on level 3. And you'll notice that deliverable 1.1 or 1.2 has now changed to a black bracket. So, a couple of things to notice before we continue on. The deliverables within your project should now all be black brackets as well as that top project name line. The other thing that you should notice is that all of the work packages remained as blue bar tasks. These are tasks that really involve the work. So be aware of that. Deliverables will all turn to black brackets, and your work packages should be blue bar tasks. So deliverable 2 is on level 1, so it needs to be indented once. Work package 2.1 and 2.2 are at level 2, so let's do them at the same time, highlighting them again by clicking down and holding it and highlighting both of them, and then releasing and then clicking it twice. Once, twice, and you see the deliverable here again turn to a black bar. Deliverable 3 is 1, and then Work Package 3.1 is 2. 1, 2. Work Package 3 or Deliverable 3.2 is at level 2 of our WBS, so once, twice. And then Work Package 3.2.1 and 3.2.2 are both at level 3, so we need to indent them 3 times. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And you'll see that deliverable 3.2 is now a black bar. Again, all of your deliverables should be black bar brackets, whereas the work packages, or the work that's actually being done to create those deliverables, are blue bar tasks. So that is indenting our data, or step number 2 in this process. Step number 3 is manipulating the durations for each of our work packages. We do not manipulate the durations for black bar. This is one of the big do's and don'ts of Microsoft Project. We do not manipulate the durations. Another one of the big do's and don'ts here is we only manipulate the durations. We never, ever manipulate the start or finish date. We only manipulate the durations uh, of each of our work packages. Again, we do not manipulate. So a couple of the big do's and don'ts here. Number one, we do not manipulate the durations for deliverables or black brackets. We only manipulate durations for blue bar, and we only manipulate durations. We never manipulate start and finish dates. So let's take a look at our WBS, and you'll notice that under deliverable 1, there is no duration. Under work package 1.1, you see a DUR colon 2. That means duration of 2. So let's change that to 2. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do this. There's a little scroll up and down bar here. If we scroll up, it goes to 2 days. And you'll notice that the blue bar went out 2 days now. And the brackets above it have done so accordingly. Now, deliverable 1.2 is not a blue bar task, but a bracket. Therefore, we will not manipulate it. You will see that the question marks behind each of the black brackets will eventually go away. We have eliminated it now in work package 1.1 as we start to develop our schedule. So the next one we'll want to manipulate is work package 1.2, which has a duration of 3. Let me show you another way. You can just go in and type in 3. And you can see that it's starting to move each of these tasks out. Work package 2.2 has a duration of 4. Again, you can use the scroll button. We'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and click away. Simply by clicking away, each of these will change. So we have deliverable 1 completed, and now you'll notice that both of those black bar brackets, the question marks have now gone away because we have manipulated all of the durations underneath that deliverable for the tasks that need to be done. But you'll notice that the project one is still there. So the next one we need to manipulate is work package 2.1 here. And the duration for that is 1 day. It's currently 1 day, but we do need to manipulate it. The easiest way is just to type in that duration. And you see that the question mark has now been eliminated. Work package 2.2 has a duration of 5. We will not, and you'll notice now that the question mark behind deliverable 2 is gone. Deliverable 3 we do not want to manipulate because it's a black bar or black bracket task. Work package 3.1 has a duration of 4. So let's scroll up this time. And then deliverable 3.2, we do not want to manipulate that, but work package 3.2.1 and work package 3.2.2, we do need to. 3.2.1 is 5. And work package 3.2.2 is 3. So now we have entered the durations. The one thing that you will want to pay special attention to here is, are all of the question marks gone? If you still have a question mark, you do need to go back and figure out why. You probably did not manipulate a blue bar task, one of the work packages. The other thing I want to point out here is that Microsoft Project defaults to day. However, it also does months, which is M behind the duration. It does weeks, which is W, and it also does hours, which is H. So you can set the duration for each of those lengths of time: months, weeks, days, and hours. So be aware of that. So the next step in this process, so we have now entered the data from our WBS. We indented the data to the same level as our WBS, and we've now entered the durations and gotten rid of all of those pesky little question marks. The next step is adding milestones. If you recall, the definition of a milestone is simply a significant point in time. And in a project, usually that is when a major deliverable has been completed. So we're going to be adding milestones to each of our major deliverables, or deliverable 1, deliverable 2, and deliverable 3. And we'll be adding it at the end of all of its subdeliverables as well as work packages. So how do we do this? If you go to the Task tab again, we will be, and you highlight the line below where you want to add a milestone, and then you right-click. You'll see a whole series of things that you can do. You can delete a task, etc., change its scheduling mode, etc. We'll want to insert a task here. So you see we've inserted a task, and we're going to put you will need to change the name here to milestone 1. And we also need to change the duration to 0. Because this is one of the big do's and don'ts. Milestones always have a duration of 0. Let me show you an easier way to do this now. So let's put in a milestone for deliverable 2. So let's highlight right below the end of deliverable 2, or where deliverable 3 is, and you'll notice here in the Task tab, about 3/4 down, you see this milestone. Click on that, and it automatically enters it for you. Pretty simple, really, isn't it? But one thing we will need to do is give that milestone a name. So milestone 2. And we need to add one more with milestone for deliverable 3. So let's highlight the line below and click on the milestone icon up there in the Task tab. And again, this is milestone 3. Now, we're going to wait until the end of the next video before we enter that weekly meeting on Mondays, which is at the end of our WBS. The reason being is that we really haven't interrelated and interconnected each of these tasks with each other, providing them with predecessors and successors. So we, over the duration of the project, will want to have these weekly meetings. But at this point, we really don't know how long the project will take, because currently everything is starting right now on November 13th, with the longest being November 17th. So we will take care of that weekly meeting on Mondays at the end of the next video. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching this fourth video. Again, this was entering the data from your WBS into your Microsoft project file. The next video looks at setting up the network diagram for your project. Again, thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.